Hey guys, and welcome to another interview style video. Before we get into this one, I want to make it abundantly clear that this interview will contain spoilers and references to some specific details related to the production and the matchups that happened in 12 Titans Year 2. So if you have not already watched 12 Titans Year 2, then I suggest that you do so before watching this video. Otherwise, you might get something spoiled that you would have had a better reaction to, and also some of the things that I talk about with Scrub might not fully make sense. You might appreciate them more if you've already seen 12 Titans Year 2 and you can think, oh, this is what they're talking about, or they're talking about this moment, this matchup that happened right here. But anyway, as I tweeted out the other day, 12 Titans Year 2 full movie is now available in all of its glory on the Lore YouTube channel. That's League of Rockets, and the link will be in the description. One more huge shout out to Lore for making such quality content and for being just an awesome guy to work with, and I do definitely hope we can work together on more projects in 2018 and beyond. So, none other than Scrub Killa himself will be joining me momentarily to chat about his experience in 12 Titans from both years 1 and 2, and also a little bit about his future competitive plans. Scrub will be turning 15 this May, which is of course significant because that is the minimum age requirement to play in RLCS, and I'm sure many of you will be interested to see if he can make a splash in that scene as well. So be sure to follow him on his social media so you can keep up with all that. And if you do stop by his Twitch chat, be sure to use the Omega Lol emote when he misplays, since that's the #1 way to trigger him. But yeah, as always, thanks guys for all the support with this new style of video, and if you have anyone in mind that you'd like me to invite to one of these, then let me know in the comments, and also let me know what subjects you'd like to see me cover. But for now, let's bring in Scrub Killa and see what he has to say about his 12 Titans experience. Welcome Scrub, how's it going, man? It's been a while since you won 12 Titans, but now finally get to sit down with you and have a chat about the win. So yeah, first of all, just congratulations on the massive achievement. 2-time champion, how does it feel?
It feels really good, thanks so much. Yeah, it just feels really good, like getting it back again for the second time, you know?
Yeah, because a lot of people won't even know that you did win last year's 12 Titans in the first 12 Titans, 12 Titans Year 1. So let's chat about that a little bit, just before we get into Year 2 questions. You were the favorite going into that tournament, the pretty heavy favorite, I think. Maybe I think a couple of other people had Devo or Cux as their picks to win it all. But what did you think? Did you think that you were going to win that tournament before it went down?
I mean, I wasn't gonna be like overconfident, but I was like, okay, I thought I could win, but I wasn't gonna doubt anyone, you know. If anyone's like, I mean, I almost lost to Maestro first round, but
yeah,
everyone's got the possibility to win, so.
Yeah, you faced Maestro, then Cux, and then Lachinio in the 3 rounds. Of course, you got the bye in round 1, which was rightfully deserved. What do you think about those matches? If you have any memories about them that you want to share?
I remember against Maestro, I actually almost lost against him because I think I was maybe 2 goals down. But he actually missed an open goal, so.
Yeah.
And then I got the comeback. I think against Cuxer and Lachinio, I was up like all the games, so like the entire time. But against Maestro, it was actually a really close call, so.
Yeah, I remember that, because people underrated Maestro. They didn't think he was going to have a chance, but he's actually had decent games against you in the past. But yeah, like, at the time, that was the most money you'd ever played for in Rocket League. It was $1,000 winner takes all. Did that put like an amount of pressure on you that you'd never experienced before? How was that as an experience?
When I'm playing, I don't really like think about the money. Just like focus on the game. To be honest, like even like no matter how much money is in the line, you don't really like. It doesn't dawn on you, you know. You just gotta focus on your game, try and play your game, try and win.
Would you agree though that it is still a stressful environment? Because I heard Squishy say once that the only time I think he said this, that the only time he's been nervous playing Rocket League was 12 Titans in Year 1. He played 3 series. He beat Jazer, beat Pashi, lost to Lachinio, and he said that that's the only time he's ever been nervous playing Rocket League. Is that something that you would relate to, or are you more of a, you know, get nervous in the team environment type of player?
Well, I wasn't really nervous, but maybe when you start losing, it starts to be like, okay then, like I could lose this at any time, so I actually like have to score now. But usually when I'm winning, like, I'm not nervous. I'm just calm. And I play bad if I'm nervous as well. So
yeah. How about the format? It's the best of 1 format. Do you think that favors you? Do you think that you're better in that environment than other players?
Actually, I do, because usually I win game 1s against most players. Like, I don't know, in game 1, I just feel really good. Like, no distractions, no like... Because if I was like 2-0 up, for example, going into the 3rd game, I might like do silly stuff, like be overconfident. The first game is like fresh start, so actually I do think it does help me.
Yeah. And single elimination as well, is that something that you're okay with? You're not at all worried about, you know, being up against it? I guess you've not been trailing that many times in 12 Titans. Maybe if you were losing really badly in a game, you'd start to feel that a little bit more, but so far has that not been an issue for you?
Not really, no. I mean, if I was down, I'd maybe start to get worried, but I try and keep my calm, like I said.
Alright, so let's talk about 12 Titans Year 2. I said in Year 1 you were the favourite, maybe by a little bit, but this time it was a much closer playing field. Did you feel like you were the favourite going in, just because you're the defending champion?
I mean, coming into it, I was like, okay, I think I was kind of like, I could have won this, but it's going to be hard. But I did believe in myself. Especially since I didn't have, like, K'd up Fairy Peak or even Lethmir round 1. Like, I was happy that Cronovia won round 1, definitely.
So you said Lethmir, K'd up Fairy. Are they the 3 players you were most worried about, maybe?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Of course, 2 of them are on they were on the other side of the bracket. That was Fairy and Leth. K'd was on your side of the bracket. We'll talk about that in a bit. But let's first of all talk about the 10k prize pool. Again, the most money that you'd played for in a single Rocket League event. Did that make it any more pressure? You said 1,000 wasn't too much pressure. Was 10,000 like? Was that the real deal? Was that like, okay, hang on, this is now pressure? Like, how did that feel?
Well, in between games, I was like, crap. But you know, when you when you get into the game, you're just like in your zone. You're not thinking about the money or anything.
Right, you're just thinking about the game.
But maybe when you start losing, it's like, crap. Okay, I might actually lose this.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people are going to ask, what are you going to do with the money? Because you've just won a lot of money for someone who's 14 years old. So is there anything you've got planned to spend the money on?
Well, my friends told me about like Gucci socks, but probably just gonna put in a bank account. Maybe like gonna get a new iPhone, so I guess like
nice.
I don't really like spending money. I like saving up.
Yes.
I'm a bit frugal.
Very wise. Listen to the advice, kids. Anyway, let's talk about Scotland LAN. Second round of 12 Titans Year 2 was played in one location. All the players were on location to play that, and obviously that changed the dynamic a little bit. What was it like though before the games in the actual tournament? What was it like just hanging out, practicing, scrimming with all of these players that you're going to have to compete against? Was that like awkward or was it interesting? How would you describe it?
Actually, that was really fun, you know, like getting to play against, like meeting the people. Like I've never met Flores or Ocelon. Don't think I met Fairy Peak either, like a lot of people, so just nice to meet people, again, getting to know them, like playing with them. It was actually quite like a chill atmosphere as well, like just before.
Yeah.
You know.
And who was playing the best, would you say, in the practice? Was there anybody really standing out and doing really well?
I think K-Dot done quite well in practice. I was like, oh, he's doing quite well. I think Fairy Peak was doing really well as well.
K-Dot was beating up Fairy Peak.
Yeah.
And Fairy Peak changed to Batmobile because Fairy Peak was playing Octane when he arrived, and then he switched to Batmobile because he was losing to K-Dot.
Fairy Peak's probably better in Batmobile. Definitely, shots are better, but I mean, I was like before the tournament, so I wasn't actually that worried. Like as long as like they didn't play as well in the tournament, I wouldn't say. Like I wouldn't say K-Dot played as well against Flores as he didn't practice. Maybe the pressure got to him. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so you mentioned earlier you were glad you got Cronovia first round, a matchup that you're heavily favoured in. Did you have a game plan though to avoid being upset? Because obviously Cronovia's a smart guy and he's on a bit of a hot streak at the time, doing well in E-League, and he was also climbing up the rank ladder as well. I think he got to like 13th in ranked in just a couple of days that he practiced in Scotland. So he's definitely like playing quite well. Were you like worried, or were you doing anything different to make sure you don't let him beat you?
Well, the day before, I think I played him twice in ranked, and the first time, like, I didn't actually want to play him at all, because I was okay. But then, I played against him the first time, and I actually lost. I was like a reality check. I was like, oh no, I don't want to lose to Cronovia first round. Like, that's not a bad thing, just like, I had like good expectations. I wanted to at least make the finals, so. Yeah. But then I played him the second time, and I like started to get more confident, because I can play quite well against his style, because he's good at playing with no boost, but I just like keep on the pressure over and over, and just like, you can't defend against that.
So it's all about just no mistakes. You can't let him into the game. Just keep him at no boost forever.
If you keep like playing aggressive, eventually it's gonna crack the defense. So.
And so in the round after that, you were playing the winner of K-Dot versus Flores. Were you glad that K-Dot got knocked out by Flores? Because K-Dot, you mentioned him earlier. Were you like super cheering for Flores in that matchup then?
Well, I don't think I've ever lost a series to Flores, actually. I've got a really good record against him, but never actually beat Kid up in the series, so glad that Flores done the hard work.
Never won. I thought you'd beaten him once, but maybe not.
Maybe I have actually. Maybe I'm telling a lie. I'm not really sure.
The last two, he definitely beat you. That's
I'm
true.
glad that Flores done the hard work for me.
He just took out Kid up. So why do you think you do so well against Flores in the past? And obviously you beat him in 12 Titans this year. So why do you think that is? What is the difference between your playstyles that lets you win all the time?
Just his style is kind of like this. He kind of plays like Devo, where he just like does these drift dribbles and like slides about the place. But
that's
it's
true. Yeah.
Easy. It's quite easy for me. I don't know. Maybe I just like works.
It does, but that style does work against K-Dub, like the Devo dribbling style. Devo does well against K-Dub. Flores does well against K-Dub. It's a strange little rock, paper, scissors. Were you nervous though? Because you always do well against Flores, but even in that match, you were, I think, ahead by 3 goals, and then he brought it back to a 1-goal game. Was that like a reality check? You're like, okay, hang on, I've got to focus here.
Yeah, I was kind of like at that point, my heart was beating really fast. Even when I was like 3 goals, I was like, I think this weird thing. I was like, I actually thought I was gonna lose, even though I was like 3 goals up, and then I started throwing a bit, and I was like, okay, just focus again, stay calm.
Yeah. So, all right, so let's talk about the other side of the bracket real quick. You were most scared, you said, of Fairy Peak and Lethamyr, and that was the semi-final matchup because Lethamyr crushed Ossalon, and then Fairy Peak was beating Cux by 6 goals, and then Cux brought it back to a 1-goal game. What were you thinking when you saw that? Are you like, oh, come on, Cux, do it, let's take out Fairy Peak for me? Or were you just like wanting the underdog to win? What do you think about the Fairy Peak Cux matchup?
Actually, I'd have been pretty cool if Cux got the comeback. I wouldn't like to play Cux in the finals. Like, that's like my favorite person to play. Like, me against Cux in the finals, that's like, for me, the best matchup. But
oh, that would be crazy.
Yeah,
Cux made it all the way. That would have been insane. But yeah, Fairy Peak, you do like the K-Dot matchup. You usually lose to him in series, but in best of 1, is that different? Do you feel more confident there? The fact that it's just a 1 game, because you said you usually win game 1.
Well, I actually prefer playing Fairy Peak to K-Dub. I don't like K-Dub's playstyle, but Fairy Peak, I actually usually do really well against him most of the time that I play him, but I'll lose by like a very small margin.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
That's like really, at the time it's very demoralizing, but after you're like, okay, at least you didn't get like 4-0.
Yeah.
So when I was, I wasn't actually, I was like, I think I thought in my head, maybe I can win this, so I just played my game against Fairy Peak and I was like, started winning more and more. Then almost through, but it's fine.
So let's talk about before the match with 30. Well, very quickly, I'll explain that this was a $10,000 winner-takes-all tournament. But of course, the players, before they play in the grand final of tournaments like that, sometimes one of the players will propose a split to the other, and as as long as that's resolved before the game, then that can happen. So Fairy Peak offered you a 70-30 split. He said, Scrub, do you want to split the prize money 70-30, 70% to the winner, 30 to the loser? And you said to him, no, 90-10. So what made you say that? Why did you turn to Fairy Peak, 6'5", beast of a man, beast in game, and say, nah, let's not give the loser 30%, loser gets 10%, and that's all? What was going through your head at that point?
Well, I mean, I don't like 70-30. I feel like that's too much for second, it takes away. So I was like, okay, I want 90-10. I want like the stakes to still be high. Like, I think 10,000 to nothing is just so unfair, but 90-10 and kind of like mind games on him as well. Like,
yeah, true.
Oh, like he doesn't get his own way. Like, and he agreed, and I was like, nice.
Yeah.
And I thought, even when he said 70-30, I was like, maybe he's not as confident because he's like, or maybe he just feels sorry for a second.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I've not asked Fairy about that actually. The other thing to think about is with 12 Titans, the whole point of the tournament is that if you lose, you're gone. So I thought that you asking for 90-10, it made sense from the identity perspective. You're like, no, this is 12 Titans, 90-10. It made sense to me. I was like, that's a really smart thing to do. You've totally won that pre-match mind game. I mean, you could have just said no. You could have just declined it and said, nah, winner takes all. That's what the rules are. But you decided to go for 90-10. Probably the best decision you made, because that was just $2,000 extra for a pre-match discussion. But anyway, there was more going on with 12 Titans this year than just the games, of course. There was the filming element, like the second round onwards was a bit of IRL, in real life filming and face-offs and stuff like that. So what did you make of all that? What was that like? Have you ever done anything like that before?
No, I mean, like we had to film over 2 days, and it was a long process. It was like quite tedious, a little way in the bill, but it was actually really fun. Like just looking in the player's eyes. Like I remember I had to look in Kronovi's eyes. We didn't laugh once. We just like staring at each other.
But then you and Floris wasn't that quite that good.
Just
it was the laugh fest.
Like, Floris just is like a funny guy. Funny. He's got like a funny face. Like
he does, yeah.
I didn't laugh with Fairy Peak though. Not
Fairy
once.
Peak was just completely stone cold. Like him and Cucks were just like absolute stone cold when they did their face off. That was like my favorite face off because it was very, very interesting to see the difference in size and everything, and how serious they both were. And you know, they both just looked like so ready for it. But the other thing I wanted to know about the filming is, you said that there was like a lot of filming had to be done, and not much of it got used. I saw you say that in your stream. Were you expecting there to be more of filming the stuff that was filmed, make it into the final cut of the 12 Titans?
Maybe like the helicopter scene, because
there's quite a lot of that.
Yeah, it was like quite like a big effort filming the helicopter scene. So I was like, okay, it's probably gonna be all the game just me coming in the helicopter. No. Like one little scene,
every game you do another entrance, the helicopter.
Yeah. All that effort just for like a 5 second. I was like, oh, fine.
No, that's how it is. That's why it's so difficult to get all of it done. Is because to get like a 10 or 15 second like bit of filming, it takes hours because you need to do so many different angles and so many different speeds and everything, and so many different takes just to get it right and the right lighting and make it fit with the final production. I thought it looked pretty cool though. All of the entrances got a pretty cool reaction in the Twitch chat at least. The other thing I wanted to know about you though, that wasn't related to the games, is how difficult was it for you to keep it a secret that you'd won? Because there was 5 weeks between winning and the 12 Titans live stream. So how did you manage to keep it a secret from everybody? Because I don't think you told anybody but your parents, right?
No. Well, okay, I was like, well, if I tell anyone, then bye-bye 9 grand or whatever. I was like,
it was contracted, obviously, but it's still impressive that you were not even like poker. You did a really good poker face. People are obviously asking you questions about it in Twitch chat.
I think actually Moat might have like found out, because Moat done like detective work or something.
Ah, really?
I think I'm not even sure he found out. Then he asked me, and I thought like I didn't say anything. Like, I was kind of like, whoa, I'm surprised he knows, or maybe he just guessed, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone thought I was gonna like lose in the finals to K-Dop or Fairy Peak.
Yeah, no one had Echoey, really, which is it's good. That was good. I mean, there was a lot of criticism with the whole Sharif situation. Obviously, people are saying that you just need to be more transparent, but no, the least amount of communication possible is usually the best way to go, and it worked out this time. It was pretty good.
Even like the because I was watching on Discord and like Ryan, Baby, and Jesse, and they were convinced that Fairy Peak was gonna win.
Really?
Like,
they thought even though you're talking to them at the time. That's amazing. Well then. Yeah. So hopefully you'll keep up your level, your ones game. I know I've heard you say that you're gonna just focus mainly on threes now till for RLCS and stuff like that. With that in mind, you know, best of luck with RLCS. I really hope to see you in RLRS or RLCS season 6. But yeah, definitely want to see more of you in 12 Titans Year 3 if that is something that you're still in the top echelon of. I would be surprised if you're not, honestly. But where can people find you just so they can keep up with all of what you're doing, live streaming and you know, playing threes for trying to get into RLRS? Where can people keep up with you and day to day?
You can follow my Twitter at ScrubKillaRL, and my Twitch is twitch.tv/Scrub. I got a name change from
just Scrub.
So.
Yeah.
Yep, just Scrub.
So those links will be in the description. Big thanks again, Scrub, for coming and talking to us. And one final congratulations on winning the butt plug trophy, as Remco called it. Yeah, anyway, I'll talk to you later, man.
Nice to see you.
So that was Scrub Killa, the 2-time and only ever player to win the 12 Titans now annual tournament. And we'll have to wait and see if he can keep up that level of 1v1. It is quite astonishing that he's been able to stay at the top for as long as he has. And, you know, at least if he's not the best 1v1 series player, certainly still the best 1v1 single game player. And no one really has been able to prove otherwise in the entire history of Rocket League up until this point. But like Scrub said, you can follow his Twitter and his Twitch to keep up to date with what he's going to be doing throughout the year. And of course, later this year, I'm sure going to be trying to make a run into RLRS or RLCS. Not 100% sure yet, but that will all become clear later in the year. Anyway, guys, I'll leave you with the rest of the grand final game between Scrub, Killa and Fairy. I'm sure some of you guys want to see Scrub's POV of that. Although I'm sure most of you have already watched it on the 12 Titans League of Rockets channel. But either way, enjoy the rest of the gameplay, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.